Harry and Meghan made a surprise joint appearance over the weekend. Royal expert Patricia Treble joins us now for another royal roundup. And Patricia, what more can you tell us about this appearance? This was at an event honoring first responders.
So Kevin Costner hosts this every year for local responders in the area, Santa Barbara area. Harry and Meghan have been going for the last few years, so it was lovely to see them again. And also over the weekend, we saw them on TV. Disney was celebrating the 70th anniversary of Disneyland, and they, of course, had gone in June with their family. They posted some videos, home videos, and they actually showed some of the home videos in this special. And it was really the first appearances we've seen of them since Harry, of course, visited his dad in England. And by all accounts, he's going to be going back like on a more regular basis, although very tentative early steps. And they're emphasizing this is all very private for the next little while.
Okay.
No.
All right, let's get to the Sarah Ferguson email. I mentioned going into break that she's in some hot water over this email that she had sent to Epstein.
Yep.
Okay, what can you tell us about it?
Okay, you have to cast your mind back to 2011. This is when the Epstein relationship with Andrew and Sarah splashed into the public eye. And at that time, Sarah had taken money from Epstein to help pay off some of her massive debts. And she issued a huge public apology. She condemned Epstein, broke off all relations. What happened this weekend is two British papers published an email she had sent him the next month, back in 2011, to her dear friend, Jeffery Epstein, apologizing for the public apology, saying she did it simply to save her career as an author. So not good at all. And we've already seen fallout today. A children's hospice has dropped her as a patron, and I think we're going to see more and more fallout. It's going to put more pressure on the king to simply just say they cannot come to any royal events, even private ones.
So this is a story that's going to continue, it sounds like.
This is a story that has been going since 2011, and it simply will not stop. Yeah, there's always another twist in the tail.
Yeah. All right. Meanwhile, last week, of course, royal news was dominated by the state visit by U.S. President Donald Trump. Now that it's over, Patricia, what are some of the biggest takeaways for you? Yeah.
So, I mean, obviously, he got the state visit he wanted. The big takeaway for me, though, was the role played by William and Kate. And I thought that they really played a really high role. I mean, obviously, he's heir to the throne. There's certain obligations. But, I mean, President Trump was effusive in his praise of both of them. And you really saw them doing more and more. They had a private audience with him. You know, after the Queen showed Melania around Windsor Castle, Melania went to Kate, and they, had a big scouting event and stuff like that. What was also noticeable was the fact that at that event, they were the only royals under the age of 75, which is something which kind of shows they not only are they going to be having a more prominent role, but they have to, because basically they are the only young royals left.
Are we going to look back at this as a bit of a changing of the guard in a way then? Because William and Kate were the ones to first greet the president and first lady when they arrived. Right?
And that's kind of the part of the standard sort of thing. But everything is very choreographed with these things. But what was noticeable was that even with that, they had an enhanced role. In this particular state visit. So I want to see what happens in the next ones.
But wasn't the Queen under the weather last week?
Yeah, she was completely under the weather. She had a sinus infection. She sounded awful.
Right.
She had a speech later that week. She sounded terrible. But again, it was noticeable that they were very, very prominent.
Okay. Speaking of state visits, it looks like the King and Queen have a few coming up, and they might be going to the U.S.?
Yep. So, okay, nothing confirmed. Okay, so we need to, but this is the scuttlebutt. Next month, going to Vatican City, see Pope Leo. That was, of course, postponed from the spring when Pope Francis was ailing. Maybe another state visit in Britain, maybe Germany this fall. It would be the third. Rare, but it happens. Next year, 250th anniversary of American independence. And so the thinking is that President Trump will extend an invitation to the King and Queen. The late Queen did it for the 200th. So there is a tradition there of the British monarchs going for American independence. So.
All right. Well, stay tuned. As always, Patricia Treble, we got to leave it there, but good to see you as always on a Monday.
Thank you.
Thanks for this.